Good afternoon, guys. Today we have a little something special to take a look at. This is my first Microtech. Um, I've always wanted an out-the-front knife, but it's illegal to have here in California. And while I know that doesn't stop a lot of people, um, I've always kind of just decided to play it safe and not really make any moves to pick one up, but this one was available at a local shop because this is the UTX-70 California legal out the front Microtech. So why am I showing it to you on the box like this? Well, I think you probably have seen pictures of this online, or I had at least, and I really didn't have any sense of how large the knife was. I knew that it had to be a 2-inch blade in order to be a legal out the front knife in California, and there aren't a whole lot of those. But it still was difficult to picture. So I'm showing it to you like this, and then now I'm going to show you like this. That thing is tiny, isn't it? This thing is like truly a Microtech. But it's super cute, isn't it? I mean, I have a few other knives that are similarly sized, but not many. And I don't know, it's just kind of hilarious. Look at how little this baby knife is. It's literally the size of a Bic. Which is great. Look at the thickness or the thinness. This thing is nothing, you know. I mean, look at it compared to my finger. It's half the size of my finger. This thing is itty bitty, but honestly, that makes it awesome. It's comparable. I mean, let's put it also next to something like the classic Swiss Army. This is the compact model. But look at that, tiny. I mean, it's just dwarfs a 2-layer Swiss Army. So very, very lightweight. This thing actually clocks in at 1.2 ounces, which is, you know, nothing. Truly nothing. And then what's really best of all about you know, having a thin, lightweight knife like this at this size is the ability to kind of like wear this where, you know, in places where a heavier knife would not be supported. And you know, other knives like, say, the Man Bug. Let's see, I've got one right here. Something like the Man Bug, also a 2-inch blade, very lightweight. This one actually is less than an ounce. And there you go, give you a size comparison on these two. So exactly the same blade length. There we go. A little bit more handle on the Microtech. This guy's got a 3.3-inch handle. But the thing about like a Ladybug is you don't have any kind of a clip. This Microtech, you get a clip, so this thing will literally clip to, you know, anything really. This will clip high up in a jacket pocket and not interfere with like the change that you might have at the bottom. It will clip to, you know, pretty much anything. I've clipped it to the collar of my shirt. I've clipped it to you know, boxers when I'm just walking around the house in comfy mode. You could even clip this to your sock and wear it as kind of a boot knife if you wanted. It's literally just the most versatile little knife that I actually have in my collection. I think the closest thing I could compare it to would be maybe the Benchmade. Oh, I forget the number. It's the Pardue, but not the mini grip. That super flat one, similar to like the Bug Out with the spear point blade. But the bug out would be also comparable in lightweightness. But yeah, just a really awesome knife, and very lightweight. And it's got this little glass breaker on the back, which is just, it's iconic. It's one of these things that if you see this clip hanging out of someone's pocket, you instantly know, oh shit, this dude's got a Microtech. I wonder what kind of a blade he's rocking there. It's just a really nice thing to have, a really cool piece for the collection. And as far as the action goes, I'm very happy with it. Initially, when I did it, I was like, oh man, there is way more pressure needed than you would think. And there is, but once you get used to it, no problem. I mean, if you didn't have a good grip on it, you might, if you're not actually holding on to the back of it, you might push it out of your hand before you could get it open. So I will say that while it's, lightning fast once you do hit that switch, it's a pretty stiff switch, and so you need to be practiced at it to be quick with it. So it's funny. This thing you would think is like the fastest knife out there. Any knife with a wave is going to be faster. It's going to pop out of your pocket so much faster. And even a knife that you're really expertly, practiced in flicking is going to be a lot faster. If I pick up this knife and flick, it's open. If I pick up this knife, I got to make sure I got a good grip on it before it pops. But, that said, it's also got a very stiff switch coming back, stiffer actually pulling back than pushing forward. And it really makes me feel very confident that this thing is going to stay open and stay shut until I very intentionally push that switch forward or pull it back. This is like your home defense revolver with a real heavy trigger pull. It's not going to go off unless you mean for it to. And then I don't know if you guys know that the out the front action is actually not something that's going to just if this for some reason, if you pushed forward on it while it was in your pocket, it's not going to blow through your clothing and stab you. This is there's like a safety feature built in. So this is just standard paper. Let's see if it'll stop this. Well, it pushed it back. Let's see if it's right in front of it. Oh, it'll cut through paper like that. But it's not going to go through something a little heavier. So this is Post-it paper. Oh, it'll go through that. All right, here, box. So it just stops. Fires like that. You can kind of whip it and it'll snap back in or snap out, one of the two. If you have cloth, it's definitely not going to go through cloth. Here, let's fire it. So yeah, there we go. That was my arm. It didn't do anything to me. So it's kind of a nice little feature. It's unlike one of the Halo models. The Halo models have a spring inside, and you pull back a charging handle in the back. It sucks the blade back in and then locks it, at which point you press a button and boom, it just fires with all the force of this spring. Whereas these guys actually have springs but also cams that pull the blade back in and shoot the blade back out, but not with a loaded type action. So it's a much safer out the front knife to have. And then, since I've been playing with this and using it, and it has a great, perfect size, really. It's just fits very nice in the fist, great in reverse. It's really like a very precise little blade. Got a good amount of thickness out to the tip. Yeah, it's extremely sharp. Let me do a little paper cut here, because I know you guys like that. super sharp. Does the job. It's basically like having a scalpel in your pocket, a little pocket scalpel. Do really nice detail work with it. Um, and honestly, it's just one of the coolest knives that I have because of that. That's so much fun. And yeah, I'd say I annoy the wife with it, but she's really good natured. She doesn't care. She just smiles and laughs at me playing with it. She actually bought this for me as a early Christmas and anniversary present. So that's a good wife. she was very pleased to get me something that I was this happy with, because yeah, it's just any of the knives that I receive as gifts, I never give away. And so it's like if I'm going to get a gift, I really want something that's going to be kind of like a standout piece so that every time I handle it, I think of, the occasion that I received the knife. So yeah, it was very fortunate that these were actually available at my local knife store, which is Recon 1 in Encino. And yeah, these things are just so cool. One of my favorite pieces. And yeah, it's riding with me everywhere I go. I went with the black blade. They have just a pure satin as well. But I just think that the black looks really great, that two-tone. Little fuller in there, blacked out, the swedge up top blacked out. I love the writing on the blade. I think that just looks badass. The texture, this sort of like bead blasted anodized aluminum, I believe is what it is just really nice. Provides a good amount of grip, but is nice and smooth when sliding in and out of clothes. The texturing on this switch up top is really nice. Yeah, really nice CNC machining, so that you got a good amount of grab forward or backward. I was a little bit bummed that this was not actually some kind of raised detail or like a masked out emblem into the black aluminum. It seems like it's a painted feature. You can feel a little bit of text or a little bit of raised, a little bit of a raised profile to it, but not much. Fit and finish on it is just impeccable, really nice. The only thing I'd say is I feel like this one screw is a little higher than the rest of these. You can feel all of these as you run your finger over them, but this one just ever so slightly catches more. So, I think that means because it's proprietary hardware, I'm going to have to pick up one of the little wrenches, or one of the little bits, and give that a slight tightening. But I mean, looks nice and clean all along the edges. Everything fits together very well. You can see the printing here on the clip. Let's see. Come on, focus. Focus. Focus, focus. There we go. I said the magic words. It still doesn't work. Oh well, it's got the, there we go. You got the serial number, you got the brand, and then the release. So I think it's, what's it say? It says 11/2018. So this is their 2018 batch. I think they did a batch like, I want to say like 5 years ago. It's been a while since they've done one of these California legal UTX-70s. But yeah, super happy with it. It's just a beautiful piece, so much fun to play with, exceptionally useful in the fact that it's just razor sharp. I don't know if you can see, there's barely any kind of a secondary edge, any kind of like a bevel. It's really more of a micro bevel. I mean, let's compare it to something like the edge on that. It's that's pretty demonstrable how how different that is, or how much this is almost a zero grind. That Microtech really does a great job with their blade grinds. Compare it here to the another micro blade I have. This is a Micro Emerson though, the Micro Commander. I just got this the other day as well, so I'm gonna have to give you some thoughts on the Micro Commander. I'm actually really liking it. It fits the hand really well. It's a little bit difficult to open up, and that's the complaint that I've heard people say, is that like the hole as opposed to a disc is just a little harder to catch. And I can definitely see that, but it's not bad. I mean, if you just get used to it, play with it a little bit, it's absolutely doable. Unfortunately, it's not really flickable. Here, let me... You know, you have to give it a fair amount of wrist, but it's not going to just... Yeah, it's not going to go. And if you loosen up that pivot, you can certainly get it into a place where it will flick, but then your blade is starting to... The centering starts to drift over quite a bit. So I'm keeping it like this. The other thing to note on this guy is compare the wave. Let's see. Here's another sub 3-inch Emerson. So this guy is 3 inches. This guy is also, or they might both be 2.9. But look at the wave size. Obviously, this is missing the disc. It's not missing. I took it off because I like running it without the disc. On a blade this short, I think it's smart doing something that is discless, like a hole like this, because you only have so much blade to work with anyways, and so it's nice to not have anything in your cutting path. But yeah, I kind of wish that this wave was a little bit more prominent. I mean, compare it also to something like the Karambit, which is another one that uses a hole. Dusty Karambit. I mean, that is a huge difference. Micro little wave versus like the big solid wave. And I find that does make this a little bit more difficult to wave out of your pocket than something like this. Yeah, sorry, this thing is so dirty. But that's what happens when you carry it every single day. My my little scorpion scaled combat Karambit. But yeah, it's a cool knife as well. I have half a mind actually to make a backspacer with a ring on it, because how nice would this be as a Karambit? It fits great as in reverse, so it kind of seems natural. Anyways, I'll do a full video on the Micro Commander at some point here, but yeah, I just wanted to show you in conjunction. I mean, this is a small blade. As far as Emerson people or Emerson knives go, this is a small little, the snubby. You know, compare it to one of their full-size knives. It's itty-bitty. Now compare it to something like the Microtech. You know, there's small knives and then there's small knives. This is just kind of absurd, isn't it? But it's great. Why not? I can carry both of these, no problem. And look at that. The thickness of this Microtech is like similar. It's pretty damn close to the thickness. The width of this is close to the thickness of one of your standard Emersons. I mean, you guys get it. I'm beating it to death here, but yeah, it's really fun. I love this little knife. All right, let's do one final comparison because it's just fun. There's no reason not to. You guys have any idea which knife I'm gonna bust out? Compare it to? The Raja. Check this out. you can fit both of these knives on the Raja, just on the blade. Just completely eclipses these knives. That's pretty fun. It doesn't fit in frame. There we go, guys. That's pretty much it. Big knives, little knives, in between knives. I love them all, and I especially love this this UTX-70, this Ultratech. So cool. Anyways, hope you're doing well, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.